I worked for a lot of years in York City in EMS, and I just got out of that job, and it was the best thing that ever happened to me. But for 6 or 7 years, there was a lot of time and energy and not a lot of money made um, working out of 54 North Harrison Street on an ambulance. And there was a lot of shit that kind of messed me up as a human being. There's a lot of stuff that I feel like a lot of people aren't supposed to see in one lifetime, let alone in like a 6-week period. But a lot of really good stories. Unfortunately, a good portion of them are protected by HIPAA, and I know that this is going out on the internet, so I will not violate those laws. So time's real wishy-washy and timely-wibly. Not all that long ago, I was on Mickey 2-1 with my partner and roommate, Jaden. And Jaden was just a class act dude and a damn good medic, and we worked very well together. And it was sort of a hot, late afternoon, 8 or 9 hours into a 12-hour shift, and we were just talking about the things that really mess with us coming off the shift, the stuff that we take home with us. And unanimously, you talk to any of us, and it's dealing with kids that really fucks us up. And while we were having this conversation, the pager goes off on the radio, chatters to life. We hear York City, 1200 block of West King Street with the crossroads. Choking class 1, 3-month-old male, Mickey 2-1 is due. And we're like, motherfucker, just talking about it. So I don't know if you know this, but if you call 911 for bullshit, we take our time. But if you call 911 for a choking 3-month-old, we boogie. So we hop in the truck, and of course the 1200 block of East King Street is the furthest point from our station that's possible in our first due area. And we're probably doing something in the ballpark of 70 miles an hour in these narrow streets of York City. In my brain, I'm just sort of going over pediatric airway management and, God forbid, pediatric CPR. And we get updates as we're going. Dispatch comes over and says that Officer 191 is en route. They always dispatch cops just in case they're a little bit closer when it comes to kids. And then when they say the caller's still on the line, stating that the 3-month-old was not breathing, is unresponsive. So as we're driving, we get about halfway there, and I'm just mentally preparing myself to stay as chemically fucked up as possible. Like, I'm going to go home. I'm not going to be okay for about 2 weeks. And I'm just kind of steeling myself for that. And then we hear Officer 191 on scene. We're blowing through red lights. We're not even checking left and right. We're just thinking, like, traffic will figure it out. And then we hear 191, Officer Mayberry, his actual name. He mentioned something over the radio, and we can hear the police channel, but we can't transmit over it. So we hear Mayberry come over the radio, and he says something, and he's not freaked out. And we're like, that's weird for Mayberry. Love you, Mayberry. So we get on the radio, and we said, County Mickey 2-1, do we have an update on this patient? And there's a very, very pregnant pause. And we're screaming down. We're probably at the 800 or 900 block of West York at this point, screaming towards this unresponsive 3-month-old. And the dispatcher comes on and says, Mickey 2-1, the 3-month-old choking patient is a hamster. And very calmly reach down, turn the lights and sirens off. Keep driving in that direction just in case I misheard. So County Mickey 2-1, just confirming, you said the choking victim to which we are responding, lights and sirens in emergent mode, the most dangerous thing that we're doing in our job, driving in emergent mode, is a hamster. And she says, that's correct, Mickey 2-1, the choking victim is a hamster and presumably dead. And so processing all of the shit that just went through my head. My partner, slaps my hand away from the microphone. He picks up the microphone and says, County Mickey 2-1, would you like us to proceed and check on the hamster? Stifling laughter, the dispatcher comes on and says, County Mickey 2-1, you can go station available unless you would like to go check on the welfare of this hamster. Later that day, we saw Officer Mayberry, and I thought to myself, maybe, just maybe, this was a child who was told that if anything goes wrong, if you don't know what to do, call 911 and ask for help. So I saw him later that day at the end of the shift. I said, Mayberry, was that a kid that called? He said, nope, grown-ass woman.